everyone. You're probably wondering why we're wearing these costumes. It's towards the end of Spooky Month 2. We'll have one more Spooky Month in December, as we have decided to forego the holidays that are during that time and do our own.
Lots of dressing up and fun.
True. So, the reason why we're here today is to talk about something less fun than Spooky Month, and that is... I hate being right. The reality of the situation is that we have talked about on this channel COVID-19 several times, and to the point where I just get fed up with it. The lack of mask usage, the still very low numbers of vaccinations, combined with the inability and desire to actually deal with any of the things in the world, is really fucking hard. Talking about COVID all the time is always going to be a drain, because it is a situation in which we are incredibly powerless, right? We can do what we can to protect our own families, convince them to behave their damn selves, but yeah, I hate being right. So, here's what we got. Oh, that's flipped around. 1 second. Also, why was that so dark? Jesus Christ. Flip horizontally. And let me turn off the dimmer. This needs to be off. Disable. There we go. Now we're less awful. There we go. Alright, sorry about that. I left on some settings. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Why is this still flipped around? Oh, I see what happened. It got flipped. There we go. Update on Omicron. Omicron is a new variant of COVID-19. Specifically, the B11529 variant of concern has been named Omicron. For some reason, they skipped Z. I don't know why. And so this has been a big thing in the news right now. You've probably already heard this if you've been on Twitter or you've been online. Kind of a big deal. The reason why this is so confusing, and I'll bring this up, is there seems to be a lot of confusion as to whether we should be worried about this. And my answer to that is...
Or unsureness, right?
Yeah, it's a slight groan and a maybe. Let's get into it. So what is currently known... Researchers in South Africa and around the world are conducting studies to better understand different aspects of this thing. Transmissibility. It is not clear yet whether Omicron is more transmissible, more easily spread from person to person, compared to other variants, including Delta. The number of people tested positive has risen in the areas of South Africa affected by this variant, but epidemiological studies are underway to understand if it is because of Omicron or other factors. We also don't know the clear severity of this disease. Now, if you go online, you may find that there are some news outlets saying, this is a non-issue, this thing is the cold, all the typical greatest hits. Everything I've been able to find basically says, we don't know. Now, you could say this is sensational journalism, why are we covering this if we don't know anything? To my answer is, I'm guessing we probably still need to be cautious, because this is exactly what we said would happen. Was it new that was skipped? It would look like it was Z. Anyway, whatever. So my point being is, regardless of the alphabet letter they skipped, is that the fact is that this is something to be concerned about. Delta was something that essentially was a variant itself from the UK strain, if my memory serves, and Delta is far more transmissible and also seems to have just as severe symptoms. Ideally, there could be a really good scenario where something like Omicron or another one, if it is a low severity, that is, it has a very low lethality rate, and it's highly transmissible, could overtake Delta, which then you'd get more of like a cold flu situation. That would be great, as far as I understand this. And again, I am not a virologist. I am not anyone schooled in this stuff. I'm just going based on what are in articles. But we really don't know. But there seems to be concern, and anytime they move something up to a variant of concern, we probably should pay attention to it. So, Preliminary evidence suggests that there may be an increased risk of reinfection with Omicron, i.e. people who had previously had COVID-19 could become reinfected more easily with Omicron as compared to other variants of concern, but information is limited. More information on this will become available in the coming days and weeks. Effectiveness of the vaccines. WHO is working with technical partners to understand the potential impact on this variant of our existing countermeasures, including vaccines. Vaccines remain critical to reducing severe disease and death, including against the dominant circulating variant Delta. Current vaccines remain effective against severe disease and death. So there's a couple things that are happening here. Yeah, I believe Delta was split off of the UK strain. Admiral Paco, if you have a different piece of information, you're welcome to post it in chat. So this is not just on Trump, though he has got a lot of blame too. So there's two larger things going on here. One is that we are in a country full of dullards. People who utterly refuse to get any kind of real systems on the ground to really deal with this. That is, we have failed in education because we let Republicans for the last 20 years defund the damn thing. We failed because we let a president literally go online and spread basically misinformation. And additionally, we have a situation where in this country, people have become so afraid of authority that anytime anyone says anything to them, they refuse at a very core level to do it. Yeah, we could talk about Trump suggesting bleach. Like, anti-intellectualism is huge. So all those factors of America. But there's another thing that's here, and I know we want to, this is a topic that's come up in the last couple months, but let's talk about it. There's also the thing that about this variant situation is problematic, and that is colonialism. The simple fact of the matter is that one of the major reasons why COVID-19 is not going to fuck off is the only way we could really deal with this in America would be to close our borders, and that presents a whole bunch of issues. Really bad ones, in my opinion, including things involving refugees. But again, you would need to shut things down for 6 months. You would need to have people be paid to stay at home, like $2,000 stipends every month. And you would probably need to pay businesses to be able to stay in business during that time because everything would shut down. That is the only way you can deal with this in any meaningful way to slow the spread, slow the situation. This is the stuff they wanted to do with the lockdowns. And the joke being is that we did shit lockdowns that were allowed to be done at the state level, and many states did nothing.
Or rendered completely useless.
Correct.
When they were trying.
So, the reason why I bring up colonialism is even if we did all that in the US, that doesn't take care of this at the larger world level. Because we have been hoarding the vaccine and only giving it to countries who were good little girls and boys, the fact of the matter is that the simple fact of the matter is that we are in a position where we live in a country of people utterly refusing to take a vaccine while the rest of the world suffers and doesn't get it because Pfizer and Moderna refuse to sell the patent and allow other companies to help with selling this or getting it out there. This is why there's been so much disease due to Delta in India. I don't remember if that was the actual origin of it, but I know it's been horribly affected by it. Again, I wouldn't mind seeing those sources, but the simple fact of the matter is, regardless of that particular location of origin, we're still in the same position. The global north is basically hoarding vaccines while the global south gets screwed. And this is exactly what happened to create these types of variants. This is the thing that's going to keep happening, is we're going to keep getting these variants. Now, I have heard different things from different people. There's a lot of concern that we will get a variant of concern that will be more lethal or be not affected by the vaccines. As for yet, I have not heard any news to say that has happened. But in some ways, the other thing I've heard is that there's a tendency for diseases to decrease lethality over time because basically in order for the disease to survive, you can't keep killing all of your hosts. So there's a tendency over long periods of time. Now, I don't know if that's true in all cases, but the cold, the flu, there's been some understanding of that, but I've only heard that from a few different sources. So right now, we're in this big I don't know of, there's been another, yeah, you can post the link there. I'm fine with that. So this comes from Yale Medicine. This was provided by Admiral Paco. First identified in December 2020, Delta swept rapidly through that country in the United States and Great Britain before reaching the US. Yeah, I'm seeing that it mentions Great Britain. I don't see anything about... Oh, there it is. First identified in India, and I completely rolled over that. First identified in India in December 2020, Delta swept rapidly through the country and Great Britain before reaching the US. Got it. Okay. That's a fair point, yeah. Because I heard that Delta was a mutation off of the UK strain, but if those two countries are still deeply connected, then it stands to reason that easily Delta could have mutated in India and then made its way back. Yeah, fair enough. So the point being here is that right now we don't know a whole lot, but I'm going to really ask people again, you need to wear your masks, you need to wash your hands, you need to use hand sanitizer, you need to make sure that your friends get vaccinated. If they've been fully vaccinated, they need to get the booster. This shit is important.
Still avoid large crowds when possible.
Do not go to concerts, do not go to clubs, do not, I'm going to be really mean here. I don't associate with people who do these things. I've lost friends over this because they want to get back to their real life or they want to go party, and I don't. You think I don't want to go with this brand new body to a club? Are you on crack? I look better than I did 10 years ago, and you're like, I want to go to a club. Me too. But I'm being a big kid. Sometimes adults have to do things they don't like, which is do everything they can not to give a disease to other people, including to the elderly. My little high horse. You have this Atlantic article. We know almost nothing about the Omicron variant. So again, as we go into the winter, one of the things that's going to happen, and this is very important, is we are going to have an uptick in deaths. How much so? Based on the new antivirals and as well as the vaccine, it's hard to say. But if I remember correctly, the negative projection is not wonderful. The lower projections are roughly what we've been doing, but again, hit or miss. So again, Omicron variant was first detected in Botswana and South Africa earlier this month. Little is known about it, yada yada. So again, they're scrambling to gain intel on 3 essential metrics: how quickly the variant spreads, if it is capable of causing more serious disease, and whether it might be able to circumvent the immune protections left behind by past SARS-CoV infections or the COVID-19 vaccines. Yeah, right, Pros Renegade? Like, can I just have my robot body so I can go out to a goddamn club? And real wings? God, I would love real wings. That's a quick way to get over my fear of height. So, I guess what I wanted to bring up with this is that what's known so far absolutely warrants attention, not panic. Viruses mutate. They always do. Not all variants of concern turn out to be, well, all that concerning. Many end up being mere blips in the pandemic timeline. As Omicron knocks up against its viral competitors, it may struggle to gain a toehold. It could yet be quelled through a combination of vaccines, and infection prevention measures such as masks and distancing. Vaccine makers have already announced plans to test their shots' effectiveness against this new variant, with data to emerge in the coming weeks, and exploring new dosage strategies that might help tamp down its spread. Right? That's absolutely true, Admiral Paco. We absolutely did go through a bunch of variants, and many of them were functionally useless. Delta's just particularly one of the most aggressive ones.
Well, I think that's the thing here, though, is holding that not knowing, that unsureness, right? We're not saying panic, but also still keeping up with, precautions. Right? That's the really hard part, I think, is just still keeping vigilant with this stuff.
Put the wrong thing on screen. There you go. So, what is my point with all this? My point with this is that we are not through this yet. I know we all want to be. I know we absolutely, positively want to be done with this shit. Don't worry, I do too. I absolutely do. You need to push people on this. You need to push your communities on this. You need to push family members on this. I'll be honest, like, I am never going to tell people what to do with this, but I've gone so far as to just disconnect from friends. If I still talk to a majority of my family, I would have disconnected from them if they pulled this shit. Right? The fact of the matter is a mask is not there to protect you. It's to protect the it's to protect the person wearing it. As Tiamat said, reminder, the primary function of a mask is to reduce your effectiveness as a disease vector. Your mask is for you, but it's more for people you care about. True. Reminder, a vaccine doesn't mean the disease doesn't get into your system. It only means that you are likely to have less or no symptoms when your body fights it. True.
Fun stats I've seen. In places that have a high hospitalization right now. No, the amount of cases in there where people who already have the vaccine have doubled. So yes, you are still at risk. There is a much less risk if you don't have the vaccine. That's still the majority, overwhelmingly so, in the hospitals right now. But there is still a risk. It's still worth being careful. Oh yeah, our favorite place.
Yeah, so I figured I'd show you guys this real quick because you know what? All of you are sexy, sexy people. So might as well be sexy in your masks. So here's what I would say. This is where we buy our masks. This is a Vogue mask. They have a whole bunch of stuff here as far as masks that deal with various different things. And these are the masks that we wear when we are out. We've owned that one, that one, that one.
I get the bees a lot.
The bees is really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, while these masks look somewhat expensive, they are really great. They last probably 6 months with really good filters.
It depends on how often you use them. You get about 3 months to a year. The mask is the filter itself. If you are dealing with chemical sensitivities like I am, you're probably going to be replacing this more often because you need this to not only protect you from, other things, but also, various chemicals and things in the air that could be affecting you. You know, I probably get a solid maybe 3 to 4 months at the max out of a mask, but certainly it can be more effective for longer periods. Again, I need to make sure that my system's also protected from, cleaning chemicals and fragrances.
Yeah. So what's really nice about these is that they're really cool looking. They work great. And I think they're just really fun. You can find a whole bunch of different colors, different designs. They fit really nicely, especially if you have the back head strap. I'm trying to find their stuff on COVID-19. I'm not finding it off the top of my head.
It's probably in the FAQ. They're on the thing with most people where they're a consumer, general public thing. So I don't know if they're necessarily... A lot of places aren't allowed to say, like, hey, we're for this.
Well, and I know they're super solid against, like, especially when you're doing cleaning, that kind of stuff. That's really useful. But rolling global health.
They are, I don't know if they have I don't know how exactly masks get the N95 certification, but they're pretty close to it still.
So it says here, Vogue masks, no valve offer the Vogue MVM high efficiency manufactured under the KF94 certificate of confirmed safety, effective breathability, and particular filtering FX. I don't know what that is.
They do talk about it. somewhere else in here because I think that's the Korean.
So yeah, I'll put this in the links. I'll put this in chat links real quick. But the short version is that whether you get something like these, and again, I'm just bringing these up because I think they're really nice. The fact of the matter is that this stuff matters, and I would like people to do something about it. I would like to be able to go out again. I would like people to stop dying unnecessarily. So we're going to keep watching Omicron. We're going to keep figuring out what's going on with it. I'll post links in the links doc down below, so keep a lookout for those. And I guess, yeah, if you find anything, make sure to post those to either stream chat or to anywhere that you feel like you need to keep up with it. If you're in our Discord, there is in Safe a channel for COVID-19 updates. Feel free to post things there. I know one of our mods, Lil, is very much on top of making sure that COVID-19 stuff is updated. I know there's a doctor. Lil, could you please remind me his name? You posted a video from him recently about Omicron. Omicron, whatever. I know, it sounds like a new variant. Sounds like the Transformer. What's his name? Unicron. The one that eats planets. So, yeah, I'll wait for Lil to get me that answer. But yeah, the name of that doctor. And then I would just say is like, check that out. Keep up with our stuff in our Discord. And yeah, just, I guess everyone just be careful out there, please. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, so KN95 masks are for low to moderate risk areas. Grocery stores, KN94s are also for low to moderate risk areas. Got it. Thank you, Tiamat. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, I know the Vogue masks have changed over the years. I don't think they've kept up the N95 certification. They did used to be, but that has... so it looks like, again, they're keeping up the KF 94 certification.
Yep.
You know, so again, and they're pretty clear about it. So if you've got questions, you know, by all means, check into it.
If people want to post what those ratings mean or some data in that, if you want to post those in links for stream in the Safe channels, can you do that, please? In the COVID-19 one, that'd be nice too. Yeah, get your boosters if you're available. Remember, they're free. Also, get your flu shot. God damn it. Anyway, Lil, will you make sure that doctor's name's known in the COVID-19 channel, and we will go from there. All right, guys, we will see you next time. Be well, be safe. See you next time. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, consider donating to us. You can support us on our website, transgirltherapist.org. You can also help us on our Patreon, link below, or you can become a member here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching.